What if I told you Hanafusa Hajime, the doctor from Kengan is one of the most broken and overpowered characters within the entire story. So much so, he may be capable of killing Shen Wulong the Connector. Well, Kengan Omega recently dropped one of the most badass moments in the entire series. We had Nogi who responded to the Worm's demand saying they need to have a Kengan match, and to be successful in this response, he uses Hanafusa as a fear mechanism. This is due to him wielding countless viruses in his body, so much and so dangerous that if they spread, it's claimed that every person in the arena would die. This includes everyone part of the Worm and the Connector himself, hence the mass murder suicide by the hand of the Doctor. We kinda got to see this back in Kengan Ashura Zero, the manga that was created after Kengan Ashura to explain the events before the Annihilation Tournament for some certain characters, with one chapter dedicated to Hanafusa himself. In this chapter we see Hanafusa get stabbed, then the people who actually attacked him falling unconscious and assuming to be dead, with Hanafusa saying the following: "You have opened the gates of hell. You shouldn't expect a painless death," then surgically fixes himself to prevent it from doing more harm to others. But right there is how Hanafusa is able to use his broken ability. With this bringing me to something I've mentioned a few times throughout the story. Hanafusa and Bando are some of the most strange and characters so unrealistic. In previous videos I talked about how they really didn't belong in Kengan. However, since the arrival of Shen Wulong the Connector into the story, the idea of realism and connecting that to Kengan isn't really possible at this point, so it's only fitting for the original super unrealistic character to be the one to stop the Connector. Kinda insane. But apart from that, we have a few other things to go over that was revealed in this chapter, some pretty important stuff as well for Shen Wulong, and of course the future of the Kengan Omega story. But before that, if you want to support the channel alongside my content, consider becoming a member, which also provides you with various benefits. Greatly appreciated. So Nogi, I gotta respect him as the current chairman. He definitely stood up in this moment. He hasn't really had his chance to shine too much prior to this. Of course, he defeated the Purgatory CEO in that tournament, however didn't really have absolute control in that situation, especially with the whole Worm involvement, but this time he definitely stepped up his game and allowed Hanafusa to have one of the biggest flexes in the entire series. And as I talked about in my previous video, I expected Shen Wulong just to straight out accept these demands of a Kengan match. We've seen him for the past year of chapters watching various Kengan matches and being interested in them to a high degree. Of course, after he saw Garuki get beat up, he was absolutely pissed. However, outside of that, he's enjoyed pretty much all the matches, regardless of how weak they are compared to him. This naturally triggered Yan and the other Worm members, as they have absolute control in this situation. So much so, they don't really need to listen to any of the demands of Nogi and the Kengan Association, as power-wise in this situation, due to the Connector, they have total control. However, it can also be argued that Shen Wulong is being controlled by them to a degree, with Luhan stating, as Yan told you earlier, the Worm is protecting the world from the Connector, and that he's so strong he would completely collapse the balance of the world. He has the power of an entire nation's military within one man. So pretty much the Udro of Kengan Ashura is 100% confirmed with the likes of Shen Wulong. The power scaling within the Kenganverse has shot to a new extreme, and I will be working on my How Strong is Shen Wulong video coming out shortly, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be an absolute banger. So after that, we had the whole Hanafusa situation to kind of bait the Worm into agreeing, alongside of course the Connector also being interested in the Kengan matches. But the main reason for him accepting apart from that is pretty much what he says here. "I can't let Yan die. Who am I going to hang out with? We accept your terms." So quite a simple, overpowered character. You love to see it. Even though he's someone who some argue has broken Kengan Omega, he's still a very likable character, which of course connects to the final moment in today's chapter, The end of the bond between Joe and Jackie Lee, one of the most depressing moments we've ever had in Kengan. So currently we don't know the exact conditions regarding the Kengan match. That will be explored at a later point. So I'm guessing we're probably going to have a few chapters focusing on the other characters, their perspectives on pretty much the whole worm stuff, the connector, and more so deciding who's going to actually fight him, or if we're going to have multiple Kengan matches per se. But it's looking like we're going to have more so one Kengan match against the connector. So I'm wondering who they're going to choose. Let me know down below. Of course, I would love Kuroki to come in, giving Oma a chance. However, based on Oma's response to seeing the connector, he seems to be pretty aware that he's no match for him. This is once again highlighted when he told Joji that don't fight him, he'll kill you, with him looking visibly scared. And then of course, the greatest moment of this chapter, alongside the Hanafusa madness, Joji saying the following: "I'm not gonna fight you, I can't punch my drinking buddy." And then Wulong: "If you challenged me to a fight, I might have lost, because I don't want to punch you either. Goodbye, Joe." So yeah, very unfortunate times. The drinking buddies have ended their relationship. We are truly reaching a new point in Kengan Omega, mainly considering we've reached the number of chapters in which the Kengan Ashura manga actually finished, and we still have so much story to get through in Kengan Omega, namely that champion tournament, which could have Shenmue Long connected in some way. For example, Nogi baits him into entering that tournament as a representative for the worm, and then we could have multiple top tiers ending up facing Wulong, which could be pretty badass. We're still waiting for the return of Kure Ryan in the story, someone who recently was revealed to be defeated by the other worm member, Gilbert Wu, and is most likely on a crazy training arc. We have the whole Tiger Nico stuff in the story. Kiryu Setsuna was last shown pretty much looking at the Tiger Nico. We don't know what happened after that. I'm guessing we're going to eventually cut to Kiryu fighting him, and we still need Oma to get his revenge on the Tiger Nico, something that's been long lasting ever since Kengan Ashura. And we still cannot forget that our boy Koga is the protagonist of Kengan Omega. He still needs to rise more and more throughout the story, so we'll have to see what happens. It's also possible we could have a mini time skip coming soon, where the various characters go on a training arc to prepare for the worm. But honestly, as it's been revealed countless times, no one is any match for the likes of the connector. So I'm excited for the future of Kengan. Let me know what you think down below. Subscribe for more. Shout out to the members, and that's it guys. Peace.